in the 2021, I ended up having a miscarriage, and nobody on my team said anything.
But they all knew?
They all knew. They all expected to still get paid. I was in the hospital. And so they did not continue on with the business. Like, it was a lot of, like, resentfulness.
Her ultimate goal is to open an accredited marketing university with several campuses and equip her students with her $1 million marketing system to ultimately make marketing simple and generate her students over $100 million in revenue. Miss Monrae Tuggle.
I was angry. Like, I was angry at the world, right? Like, so much emotionally, I was angry. And I was like, man, I've been busting my butt all year long to make sure y'all were good, to make sure your payroll was good. Sometimes I wouldn't pay myself.
They don't even know.
Man, and you sitting up here got an attitude because ain't no chips in the
Hey everybody, you are tuning in to Fearlessly Living with Arian Simone. And if you are enjoying this experience, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Well, today I have a delightful guest.
Thank you.
I have the Marketing by Monrae. Where'd you come up with that?
You know, that is so funny because Monrae is not my real name.
What?
No.
Oh, we about to get into all of it here.
No. So when I was 17, I used to be a manager at McDonald's. And this guy, this older gentleman, used to come in every day and just call me Monrae. And I didn't know why. I'm like, sir, my name's Adriana. Like, what are you talking about? And he
So
every day.
You let the McDonald's buyer name you?
Yes, and I didn't realize it until later on. I was trying to come up with the name. I changed my Instagram name to Nunu Monrae. And I was like, well, hold on, let me think. Marketing by Monrae. That sounds good.
Wait a minute. So you were working at McDonald's?
Yes.
And you just let the patrons change your name?
I did.
What was wrong with, you said Adriana?
Uh-huh.
This whole time, y'all, I didn't thought her name was Monrae. What was wrong with Adriana? I think that's beautiful.
It is. My name is spelled, like, it's 10 letters. So a lot of people can't spell my name. So when I was in middle school, I, like, had a nickname, Nunu. And then I didn't want to be Nunu.
After ATL?
Yeah. That's what they named me in school. And so then I was like, well, I can't be that in the industry. Like, I need to change my Instagram name. And so I changed it.
What made you think that you had to change your Instagram name?
I just thought that I needed to. Marketing by Monrae. And
I mean, it is working.
Yeah, it is.
But it couldn't have been Adriana. Is it Adriana?
Uh-huh, Adriana.
Adriana something?
I couldn't, it wasn't.
What's the middle name?
Mahaley.
Mahaley.
And that's named after my great grandmother. So I was like, I just can't find it. Just Monrae. And that's where it came from.
Now, does anybody still call you Adriana?
Only like professionals. So I have an accountant. He calls me Adriana, and that's because he knows my legal name. But most people call me Monrae, or if they're from back home, they call me Nunu.
Where's back home?
Memphis. Yep. They call me Nunu there.
Okay. So Arian Simone is my legal name. But it is my first and my middle name. My last name is Reed. So anytime I hear anybody say something like, "Hey, Reed," I'm like, oh, that's somebody who knew me when.
Back in the day.
Yes. I'm like, oh, they knew me when. Or if I hear somebody say Arian Reed, I'm like, who is calling me? Because everybody says Arian Simone. But if I hear somebody say that, I know that they knew me when. And I'm like, whoa. I stop and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So that is not your name.
Yes.
And we have allowed the McDonald's patrons to change your name.
Yes.
Understood. How did you get into this space? Because I met you in a professional capacity where you were already doing this and already booming.
Yes.
How did you get into this space of marketing, into this space of being like this social media just guru, into this podcasting space? How did all this come about?
Yes.
Or did you know leaving like high school you were going to do this?
I did not know leaving high school that I was going to do this, but I knew that I had a talent, but I just really didn't. I figured that I needed a talent that was tangible. Like I wanted to learn how to do hair or clothes, or like I couldn't understand what that was. But when I got to college, I actually...
Where'd you go?
University of Southern Mississippi, so no HBCU, unfortunately.
It's okay.
But so I went to Southern Miss, and I seen a young lady post on her Instagram that she needed an assistant. And I was like, I need a job. So I messaged her, and I didn't know what assistant did. She didn't either. And so I just started doing stuff. I started doing her events and her marketing, her branding, her social media. And I was like, okay, well, I got a company now. Like, now she's my client. So I done switched this W-2 position in my head to now she is my client. And so I was like, I actually like doing this. And in 19, that's when I started my company, Rare Necessity.
At 19? Mm-hmm. How old are you now?
I'm 29.
So you've been doing this for 10 years. And at 19 in college, you flipped from being, in your mind, an employee to being an employer. Mm-hmm. Now, did she know? In her mind, were you still her assistant?
I think I was.
But in your mind, you were you were the employer basically, and she's the client.
Yes. In my mind, I was like, this is my client, and then now I can go get other clients. And she was like, I love this for you. Like, she supported my dreams. Yeah, she supported my dreams, but I didn't understand what this brand. I just started a brand management company, and so I was doing everything, and I didn't really understand how I knew how to do marketing, how I was able to grow her Instagram account and these things, but I just felt like it was a God-given gift.
Clearly. And the fact that you knew to take from being an assistant to, oh no, this is my client, I'm not an assistant. Like, that's a boss mentality just out the gate.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't work for her, she's just my client. I'm like, what? This to me is rather amazing. So like I said, I'm meeting you 10 years into this. Mm-hmm. What were the obstacles? What was the journey like? Just for context, everybody, I have hired Monrae's company. They produce my podcast. Yes. They also manage our community, the Fearlessly Living community. And I'm just so impressed with this woman's mind. So what was this journey like? You went from having or being an assistant, but you're the boss in your mind, and she's the client.
Yes.
What was next?
So after that, I started to seek other clients. Like, I started to go to all the businesses in Hattiesburg, and I was like, you need a marketer. You need me to help you grow your companies. And so that's what I started to do, and I started to get more clients. And then I got my first client, which was a hair company in Hattiesburg, and they paid me, I think, $1,300 a month, and I thought I had made it. At this point, I was like, I am rich.
And you what, 19 or 20 now?
Yeah, I'm like 20 at this point. So I'm like, my rent is only $300. Like, I don't have no car note. Like, I am
rich.
She
at where the rent was $300?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I wish I could go back.
The rent was $300?
Yes.
You had a roommate? Is that why?
Yes, I had a roommate.
So it was $300 each?
Yes, it was like $600 for
but
both.
Still,
I could go back. I could go back.
You would leave Atlanta to go to Hattiesburg, Mississippi? No disrespect to anybody who's listening from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, but you would do that?
Think about the $300 though, and how much money I could have in my pockets. I'm paying like 10 times that right now. So I would love to go back. Hattiesburg is a nice place, but I do love Atlanta.
Okay. I'm like, how could you do that? But like I said, no disrespect. It's to each its own.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. So you went and you got another client. Mm-hmm. They were paying $1,300. You thought life was everything.
Yes.
And then, did you ever hit any road bumps? And you may not have.
Yeah, so my road bumps actually came after. So I left Southern Miss. I graduated. 2 weeks later, I moved to Atlanta. No apartment. Didn't know where I was going to stay. All my stuff in the back seat. And so I came to Atlanta.
Did you know that the rent wasn't $300 a month here?
I did not know. I did not know. It was a shock because all I had was like $1,000.
Now, what the heck was you doing? This woman was paying you $1,300. You had rent $300. What were you doing with all your money? Where was it going?
You know, you be going to the club. You be out. Like, I just was doing a lot.
So you were being 20, 21.
Exactly.
Spending all your cash.
Exactly.
And showed up to Atlanta with $1,000.
Yes.
But did you think you had money, or you thought you was like moving on faith?
No, I thought I was good. I thought I was good until I got here.
No, because that's different.
Yeah,
that is really different. Because in her mind, she's thinking she's actually prepared. Mm-hmm. There are people who make those moves and they like, shoot, that's all I got. I'm doing this on faith. She's like, no, in my mind, I thought I was
prepared.
I was about to go rent me a place. You can't go rent nothing in Atlanta for $1,000.
No. And at that time, so I got here. The first place I applied to, I got denied because I didn't know that my roommate at the time wasn't paying the rent. And so we was getting, like, I don't know if you know this, but you can get evicted, but without getting evicted. Like, you can get the notices or whatever on your credit.
And she was getting the notices, and you never knew?
I never knew.
This is her name?
Yeah, like I was just giving her the money or whatever. So this is now on my rental history. And so I couldn't get the apartment. And so I'm devastated at this point. I'm like, I'm here, all my stuff, I can't go home. And so now I had to go find a place. So the next day I was relentless and went to go find a place.
Yeah, but how'd you find a place with $1,000?
Oh, I made sure that place had 2 months free rent. So I only looked at places with incentives for me to move in.
So you can move somewhere in Atlanta that got 2 months free rent. But it ain't the first 2, is it?
Yes, it was the first 2. It was the first 2 months.
Looking for tenants.
Right. And this is also in like 2017. So it was a little different.
Things are much different now.
Absolutely.
No, like drastically. Like I'm renting out the tiny home in my backyard, and I would say that I am in what I would call a community, AKA the community. And immediately we got so many, I think my property manager said it was like 600 applications that came through like first weekend alone.
Wow.
And I said, are you sure that's right? Because I said, you put what, 2,100? She said, no, I put 2,400. And I said, the city has gotten that expensive?
Yes.
I said, because I ain't in Buckhead.
Right.
I said, so what are you telling me? And she
crazy.
was like, no, that's the going rate. That's why there's 600 applicants. I was like, oh my gosh. Because I really thought that place was going to go for like maybe 1,500, 1,900.
Girl,
and it is furnished because I
full.
have it all real cute. My mom came and furnished the place, and they were like, no. I was like, whoa. That's when I was like, okay, the city has gotten, because I'm in city limits. In the city, if you're within city limits,
it's up.
I mean, it's $1 million homes in the hood, and you like, okay, are you for real? What is this?
Next door, gunshots outside.
I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was different. It was a different time. So I got my place. The rent
That
was
just
like,
shows you how quick, because that's not that many years. I mean, when you think of like 7, 8 years, like it's just boom.
Right. No, it was definitely a different time. I wish I could go back to that $1,000 rent as well. And I was saying
your rent was $1,000.
Yes.
In Buckhead.
Yes, in Buckhead.
Oh, that day's over.
I just want anybody that's inspired
Yes.
to move to Atlanta. Don't come with $1,000.
No, but the housing rate did like exponentially increase, because it used to be, when my hometown of Detroit was very similar to Atlanta. Oh no, it didn't went past it. It's just like boom. I was like, wow. So okay, so keep going.
Yeah, so I came to Atlanta, and I'm looking for a job at this point because I'm like, I gotta make some money. Clearly, I don't have enough money, and I couldn't find a job. Like every job that I would go try to be a marketer at or whatever, it would be.
Now, what made you go from the boss mentality to now you trying to be employed again?
Listen, stepping out on fear instead of faith, right?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Yes, like I was like, I need a job. Like somebody, I don't know these people out here. Like I have to have a job, and nobody would hire. Like they would hire me, but it would be jobs like going to sell knives in Kroger. Like, I didn't pay for this degree.
No, not even that. You went door to door racking up clients in Hattiesburg, and you going door to door looking for a job. Why weren't you trying to rack up the clients?
I think I was just very scared. Like, I feel like I needed the stability to, like, really start. But after I couldn't get a job, I had no choice but to fall back on what I knew.
See, I mean, God would do it every time.
Every single time. So I started just DMing people. Everybody that I thought was in Atlanta, I was like, hey, you need my services? Like, just volunteering. And my first client, now I done went from $1,300 a month to now this first client in Atlanta, $300 a month. I'm like, girl, I can't even pay my rent with this.
$300?
Yes. $300 a week. Sorry. It was $300 a week, but it still wasn't enough to pay my rent.
Okay, so $1,200.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Yes. And so now I'm like, okay, I got to figure it out. I got to get more clients. And so expediting the process, I did some things. I was like, I'm just going to go back to school, give me a refund check, pay for my rent. You know, like I had to figure it out.
So you enrolled in school so you could go get the net check.
Come on now, because I had to figure it out.
Gosh.
So I figured it out, and then I started to get more clients, and that's how my agency started.
Did you even finish that schooling? No, it was just for the check.
It was just for the check. I probably still owe them like a couple $100 to finish it out, but
you need to pay them people a couple $100.
I need to get them their money.
Y'all, she's a multimillionaire right now. You need to pay them people a couple $100.
Yeah, so that was the journey how I started, like how the agency kind of got up. and going, and then it transitioned into the university.
If you are enjoying this experience, be sure to leave a review. You can leave a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I look forward to receiving it. Now back to the episode. Now, have your services changed? Because what were the services like back then? Were they as niche and as honed, or you were just all over the place hustling?
I was whatever you wanted me to do, and I could do it, I would figure it out, because that was kind of my personality. When I realized that my mind was my talent, like I didn't need to have to do hair or sell clothes, then I was like, okay, I could do whatever. So I hadn't really realized that in the agency space, you can niche down. Like you could just do emails, or you could just do social. I was like, whatever you need. So a lot of my clients were actually fashion brands and fashionpreneurs, or people that wanted to start companies. So I would help them from beginning to end, from starting a company to going to source the fabric, doing the tech packs and all of that, to getting it up and going and marketing and everything. So we did everything.
Oh my gosh. When did you switch that though?
So
when did that become not sustainable?
Oh, it was not sustainable at all, but I didn't know it wasn't sustainable.
No, you don't. Not when you're hustling. You don't. You're just trying to eat.
Yes, I'm trying to make money. So in 2019, I got the opportunity. Mingly, she messaged me and she was like, hey, I want to do a content creation agency. And I was like, okay, well, this sounds like a 7-figure, job. I could do this too, And so I had always been helping my clients.
So she messaged you to do what?
A content creation agency.
Was she trying to hire you? I'm not understanding.
No, she wanted us to partner together.
Oh, she wanted to do a content creation.
Yeah.
So you viewed it like, okay, if this girl's popping on social and she wants to partner with me, that means I'm good enough to do this myself? Is that where you were at?
Like, no, this is now my time for 7 figures. I had been helping my clients get to 7 figures.
And I'm like, this is my opportunity. Okay, what were they paying you then?
I was probably around, we were about $3,500 to $5,000 a month, depending on what the service was. But I was like, I need to go higher. And this was my chance.
So did you partner with her?
I did. So in 2019, I closed my agency down, and we partnered to open the GOAT firm. But 4 months later, it closed. So I was like, that's what I was like. Oh my God.
This is 2019?
This is 2019 at this point. So it closed. I had brought my team over. We moved offices, like everything. I'm like,
this was a physical place.
Yes, this is a physical location. And she already had the offices and the content studios, but we all moved in.
What happened? This place got raided. What's going on?
No. So at the time,
I'm trying to figure. Like this is a abrupt closing. This is grand opening, grand closing.
It was grand opening, grand closing. So at the time, she has another company, and so she just had a baby, and she just had a lot of life changes going on. And
it was just capacity.
Yeah, she was like, I just can't do this, and I was like, but I'm here.
She's like, help me, you my 7-figure ticket.
Right? Like, I thought we was finna make it.
And she a Detroit girl. We hustlers.
Yes.
We will put in that work, but I get it. Capacity is real. Capacity is just capacity. I'm like, what was this grand opening, grand closing? Like, somebody shut them down?
Yes. So we, once it closed, I was like, okay, now I got to figure it out. And so my team now has a decision. They either got to stay with me, or they want to stay with her company, or, and I'm like, I don't got no money. So y'all just stay over there. I can't pay y'all. So I'm devastated at this point. I'm like literally depressed. So I go in December. This is December 2019 at this point. My friend asked me to go to Mexico with her. And I'm like, well, I got a credit card, so let me go to Mexico.
All these ghetto fabulous tendencies. But you know what? I can't even say nothing. What were you, 20 what?
Yes, at this time I'm like 25. I'm 25.
I'm loving this story. Keep going.
So I go to Mexico with her. They're having a blast, but I'm like, back home, I got real bills, a real company that no longer exists. Like, I have to figure this out.
You got a lot of maturity though too.
Oh, thank you. But I'm on the beach, and I'm just walking down the beach, and I'm like, God, you gonna have to tell me something. Like, because you told me, I heard you. You told me to jump into this. Where am I supposed to go now? And he spoke back clear as day, and he told me to go back and do what I told you to do the first time.
Girl, I hear so many people say that. That guy says, I told you to do what I told you to do what I said the first time.
The first time. And he had been telling me to teach classes. He had been telling me to educate. And I would do one, but I'm like, sir, this class was $5. Like, how am I going to make money off of this? And so I went back home and I put a class on the day after Christmas. I did like a bundle.
You went back to Memphis?
No, yes, I went back to Memphis. And I put a class on sale.
Just for the holidays, not living.
Yes, it was for the holidays. And we made like $15,000 in like 2 days.
Off a $5 class?
No, it wasn't $5. That class was like $100. But we
That's
made
still
like,
a lot of people.
It is. And I was like, oh, we got something. Okay, let me listen, God. And so that's where we started with the university.
Oh, my gosh. So you just listened to the voice of God and said, I'm going to do this.
Yes.
So you made $15,000 that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd the people come from?
You know, I think I had, over the course of my agency, I had been garnering traffic, but I wasn't putting them in the community or anything. I just was talking to them on social media, and they would see me be the person behind like the Laid by Lyra launch or a campaign we did with Ming or this. And they're like, who is this girl that does this amazing marketing, these campaigns? And so they started following me, and I would talk to them in the DMs, but I didn't know that they were like tapped into what I had going on.
So you had a built-in community you could monetize and didn't even know it.
Didn't even know it.
That just shows you that somebody could be sitting on something that is going to be just so good and just bring them a change in their life, an amount of wealth, and they're not even aware.
Didn't even know it. Didn't even know it.
I mean, God truly gives us everything that we already need, whether we realize it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you were just sitting on this.
Yes. Yes.
Well, Lord, show me what else I'm sitting on.
Okay.
Show me what else I'm sitting on.
Yes.
That to me is just, I'm just listening and in awe, just amazing. So you knew from that weekend, okay, I got something.
Mm-hmm.
How then did you move after?
So afterwards, I literally just started rinsing and repeating the same thing that I did.
Rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. I was like, let me not change the formula. Let me go back. And so in January, we did the same thing. We offered some classes. I put them in a bundle, sold them at $100, and we made $30,000 that month. And I'm like, okay. And so we kept going. Every month we would launch a new product. I would ask on my Insta stories. I would say like, hey, what's wrong in your business today? And they would tell me, and I would go create a class around it. And so I just would listen to the people, and I would create new products, ebooks, videos. And that year we literally scaled from $168,000 in 2019 to $1.1 million in 2020.
In just 12 months.
In 12 months.
Just rinse and repeat.
Yes. Yes.
In 12 months. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
No, because somebody would think that you were just like 40 with the resume, the experience. No, I'm serious in running this kind of business. Mind you, that was your first year. You're doing even more than that now. Mm-hmm. And you're looking like, I'm 29. Girl, I can't wait to see where you're going to be at 40. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Just the fact that you even have just the way your mind processes to know rinse and repeat. There are people that may have just made that 15. They would have been like, oh, okay. Like, let me go find the next thing to do. You're like, no, this is working.
Yes.
I gotta go deeper in what's working.
Yes.
This is just awesome to me.
Yes.
This is just. And what made you get into podcasting?
So podcasting came a little bit later, closer to. No, we started our podcast this year. So I went on American Sesh with Pinky Cole.
You started your podcast last year.
Last year. Yeah, so I went on the American Sesh with Pinky Cole, and I was like, I need an outlet.
Were we in the same Sesh class?
I don't think so. I don't know. I can't remember.
I'm in Sesh 2, I think.
No, I was in 8.
Okay.
8. So I went on the Sesh, and I was like, I need something else. Like, I need an outlet, because being a CEO is just ghetto. Like, I hate it here. And she was like, that's it, ghetto CEO. And I was like, okay, what is it? You know, and so we were talking. I was like, well, we own a production company. Like, we've been doing production. I was like, just do a podcast. And she was like, that's it. And so from there, 30 days later, I launched the podcast.
So right now, like I told you guys before, she is behind the production of my podcast. You launched your podcast. When did you get in producing other podcasts? The same time?
Yeah, no. It was like a couple months later, because a friend of mine, she reached out and she was like, your podcast production is good. Like, this looks amazing. And I want a podcast, but I don't want to do this work.
So what were y'all doing with all the production before you had a podcast?
We were doing campaigns for clients. Like, we were just doing the commercial
video,
work.
the photos.
Mm-hmm. And I literally called Dex. Like, we had never did a podcast before when we did mine. I was like, Dex, I want to do a podcast. He was like, okay, let's figure out the equipment we need. Like, we were testing with my podcast, and it turned out amazing. And so we just started doing it.
So y'all just rinsed and repeat.
We rinsed it. That's the process. Rinse and repeat.
And that's how we sit here now. Because I guess I'm part of the wash cycle. We rinsing and repeating.
Yes, yes.
So once you realized you had a community, when did you start managing other communities? Because I hired you for this too. So I'm trying to figure out, when did this rinse and repeat start?
So this started 2022. So 2022, I started to grow my community, and because in 2020, we actually serviced like 20,000 students. And I was like, oh.
In 2020, you had 20,000?
20,000 students. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. And so everybody would hit me up and like, okay, I need a community. I'm like, I don't want
Same grace. Let me catch you.
Yes. And I'm like, I don't want to do agency work anymore. Like, at this point, I'm kind of scorned. Like, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do agency work anymore. But people just kept hitting me up. And so that's when we kind of started the community at 2022. Where we would help other people launch theirs.
And I definitely did, because we had started, like I told you, communities before. We just hadn't done one in so long. And for me, I was like, how do I get back into servicing people?
Yeah.
And I think you were even just saying that too. You were like, okay, that's where the community comes in, as far as just empowering people just through your story, through your own story and your own life. And I'm like, I've got to get back to that. It's one of the most fulfilling things ever. And when it's not a part of your life, you can feel that, okay, there's something missing here. So I'm just glad you went and got in the rinse and repeat business with the communities, the podcast, all of it. Because I don't know with my life if I would have ever had the capacity to do it again, even though the desire was there.
Yeah.
Because you do need support.
Yes, you do. You
do need support. So you run your own community, you run your own podcast, you manage other people's communities, and you manage other people's podcasts. Yes. The heck is next?
That is a good question. I mean, right now we just managing it all, right?
Just rinsing and repeating.
We just rinsing and repeating. I don't know what is next, but that is, I mean, as we continue to scale, it's really, the only new thing that I've done is now that I'm actually a CMO in 2 companies. So
are you a fractional CMO or are you a full-time CMO?
No, I actually work in their business. I mean, you could say it's fractional, but I'm always on Slack. Like, I'm always accessible. I am always talking to them.
Oh, is this another rinse and repeat I can take advantage of?
We gonna see.
Can I hire this? We gonna see. No, Monrae, you can't leave me out here. You said it's ghetto.
It's ghetto. It is.
Don't leave me out here.
It is ghetto.
Don't leave me out here. I don't want to be in the ghetto streets. I want to be in the bougie streets.
Yes.
Don't leave me out here.
It is. But that's the newest thing that we've been doing with 2 companies. So I'm excited.
So you ain't tell me about that.
No.
I'm finding that out right now on the podcast.
Right. Spill the tea.
Yes. Help a sister out. Okay, so tell me, what does that service look like?
So for those clients, and the reason why, I'm going to tell you why I did it. Because I realized that even though I was coaching, I would coach all these students, that my first love is marketing. Like, I truly love marketing.
Marketing by Monrae.
Yes. And so I truly love marketing, and coaching students doesn't always allow me to amplify or get to the level of marketing that I really know that I'm capable of.
I got you.
So I needed to have another outlet.
An outlet for your talent.
Yes. And so that is why I started the CMO clients and started doing their campaigns, working with their marketing team, showing them how to track data and use data to make decisions in their business. And so that's essentially
Show me how. Show me how. And you know what? We're going to have to figure this out, because as even a venture capitalist, we invest in so many businesses. And we invest anywhere, well, like Fund 1 on a low end is 6 figures to 7 figures in business. And then on Fund 2, we do invest, average check is in 7 figures.
Oh, wow.
So some of them may need some CMO, some fractional CMOs to help them scale and grow. So we need all of y'all to rinse and repeat yourselves.
Yes.
I'm not talking to the folks in the camera. I'm talking to the people behind the camera because we're going to need some more. We're going to need some more Dexter, some more Erics, and some more Mias. Like you said, how do we duplicate these people?
Facts.
No, seriously, because there's a need there too. I need you to do my stuff first. Yes. But yes.
First and foremost. First and foremost.
I just don't have capacity. And I used to run a PR and marketing agency. But when I say I do not have the capacity, oh Lord.
And it's hard doing your own marketing.
Of course.
Like you can't do like
you put yourself to the side all the time.
Yes. Even in my own company, like I can't be the marketer in the company. So it's very hard.
So who helps you?
Mia, she is my other person. I would be lost without Mia, and she's only been here 8 months. 8 months.
Oh no, I was trying to find me another Mia. I was like, oh, this girl bomb. I said, where you find Monrae? She said, LinkedIn. I said, oh,
I gotta get on that LinkedIn.
I said, maybe I need to go on LinkedIn. And I have been blessed with great team members, but you were correct. Once you find a good one, you're like, okay, where do we find another one of you? Where do we find another one of you? That is truly a blessing.
Yeah, and she'll tell me. She'll be like, they not it. They not gonna they not gonna last. And I'm like, they never last either. So
gosh, well, pick them out right first on the front end.
Right.
Don't nobody have time for that at all.
No, and that was part of the journey, like learning how, because I'm an only child. So I didn't know how to manage team and figure out like all of these things, because in our first year we made that $1 million. But after that, I tell people $1 million broke my business. I literally didn't have any money left. Like I was spending.
How you make $1 million and didn't have nothing left? I know you are enjoying this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Now back to the episode.
Well, you know how fast $1 million can go.
No, that's true. I do. I'm a witness. You know I do. I can't even lie.
It could go real. It sounds sexy.
It does,
but it goes real fast, especially when everything is broken, right?
Yeah,
like,
and you be looking like, okay, the taxes is saying this, but the bank account ain't matching the taxes. I'm like, I need the bank account to match the tax report. What the heck is this?
Literally. And then everybody was telling me to hire a team, hire people, and I will let you. I'm like, okay, how much you think you worth? 60,000. Oh, here you go. 80,000. Here you go. And then you don't do your job, and I'm like,
so you said $1 million broke my business.
It did.
If that broke your business, what built your business?
Ooh, that's good. Nobody has ever asked me that. If $1 million broke my business, I think me losing the $1 million built my business, because I learned from the mistake. And I didn't realize that the money habits that I had in college were the same money habits that brought me to 2020 when I had the $1 million. And it wasn't that it wasn't that I was buying Birkins and Chanel's and all the things. I would just see something broke in my business and I would fix it. Like, oh, you need 20,000 for funnels? Here you go. Like, fix it, instead of just being aware.
Throwing money at it versus solving the problem.
Exactly. And I tell people that, a lot of times we're on budget plans, like profit first, this first, instead of putting the founder first. Like, I didn't put my own pockets first of making sure I was building my wealth. That's all of us
in the beginning.
What? Now I'm broke, and the business broke, we broke, everybody broke.
No, she's telling the truth. You cannot do that.
No.
You cannot do that. It's really like you really have to put your mask on first in order for it to sustain and survive. Because the second you got to worry about the light bill, the second you got to worry about your own survival, you're not even in the mental space to build. You're just not.
Right.
And I saw somebody post something. I can't remember what they said. It was about a relationship. And it was something about the light bill. And it was my friend's page. And I commented on his post. I said, I know it's going to be slightly controversial. I said, but the second she got to think about the light bill, I said, that woman coochie going to dry up. I said, you do not, me over there talking about, Kayla over there talking about, I said, you don't put women in that position. Yes. I said, because men, are natural providers, provision, all of that. I said, women, we do go out and make money and we do those things. I said, but the way we're programmed is just differently.
Yeah.
I said, you can't put those types of pressure on a woman, because the second it comes on, she ain't thinking about that.
No.
Like, that's just how women are. They're solution driven. They're like, we got to get out of this. We got to get out of this. We got to get out of this. And I was encouraging the fellas. I said, no, make a space for your woman to be able to just nurture you and take care of you in the household. I said, because if she got to think about the light bill, the thing going to go left.
Yes.
I said, so just
That's
make
fact.
the space. Just make the space to nurture so she can just be nurturing and be who she is at her core.
Right.
But yeah, the second you're in that space of survival, it takes away your ability to just truly thrive. Of course, you get yourself out of it.
Right.
But you have so much more clarity when you don't have to think about that stuff.
Absolutely.
You can create more. You're innovative. You're like, oh, we can go do this. We can go do that. Instead of being worried about the light bill.
Exactly. And you're not in a space of fear because everything is like, I don't want to go back there anymore. Let me just hoard this little $10 I got, you know, instead of, because being in business is about taking calculated risk.
It is.
And so once you get scorned and you get burned, you don't want to take those calculated risks anymore.
You start being like, wait a minute, stop it.
Right.
Spending too much, stop that, stop that.
And it stops you. It stops you from growing.
It does. And things, how should I put it? That was so good how you explained that it was more so the mindset you had in college that was carrying over into you having and doing $1 million year. Because that is, how should I put it? Your mindset and basically your habits will show up in any stage if you don't adjust them.
Yep.
It is the truth. That's how you hear so many times when ball players get big contracts and you wonder out how did they end up broke so quick?
Right.
Well, their mindset didn't reach at the same level that their money was growing. And you have to make sure that you have that mindset as going at the same exact pace as your actual physical growth.
Absolutely.
Or else you'll be in places where your gifts has brought you, but your character can't sustain you.
Come on now.
So you want to make sure that you're doing that inner work to make sure, okay, like you said, you got to a place of awareness. You're like, wait a minute.
Something ain't
This
right.
was the mindset I had then. I'm going to have to change some things so that we can thrive. That is key. So how many people are on your team? I'm just curious.
So now on my team, we have, I think, eight people.
But that is good because you're running a multi-million-dollar business with 8 people.
Listen, and I had to learn not to have so many people. I think at one point we had an office, 8,000 square feet, a fulfillment center with like 25 employees. And I was like, y'all eating up all my money. I got to fire all y'all. Like, y'all got to go.
Wait a minute. You just woke up on Monday and told everybody they had to leave?
Well, I woke up after, in the 2021, I ended up having a miscarriage. And nobody on my team said anything.
But they all knew?
They all knew. They all expected to still get paid. I was in the hospital. And so they did not continue on with the business. Like, it was a lot of, like, resentfulness.
Oh.
And even my best friend was working there. And I literally said, everyone has to go. And so walking into 2022, I literally reset my entire business because I fired everybody that was on the team.
Oh, my gosh. Now, I don't know if that's fearless or what word that is. I've never done that. But how should I put this? Well, I can tell you there was something in there that I have experienced. Is that when you are trying to, when you realize in that moment that you were the only one saving your business. What keeps me going is that I've actually been surrounded by people that they will get in the trenches with you. And that is horrible to be in a position where it's like, I got 25 people and I'm the only one out here about to save the company.
Right.
That does not work.
It don't.
People, what keeps us going is knowing that we got people who are in the trenches with us to know, okay, this month we got to come up with this. I got your back. I'm going to figure this out. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. They like, okay, you in the hospital dealing with this. We're going to send you your meals.
Yes.
We're going to take care of you. We're going to look out for you. And guess what? I just brought in an additional 50 grand for you.
Right.
Here we go.
Right.
That's what you want on your team.
Yes.
You don't want anybody on your team that when you get in the trenches that they don't want to get dirty with you.
Right.
Because it is an eye-opening thing. And I'm glad you recognized it early. Not that I was trying to get all 25 of y'all fired, but I'm glad you recognized that so quick, because I didn't learn that quick. You learned that in your 20s. I think I got that in my 30s. Like, I didn't have that mindset then. I was always, and my mother told me that. I remember going home 2009, so I was 28, and my mother said, I'm going to tell you right now, fire everybody. And I could not make the bold move that she told me. She said, if not, you're going to fire yourself. And that's what happened. And I remember I've learned that lesson the hard way, where you were like, I'm up here laying up in this bed. They got to go.
Yeah.
And my mom was right. Like, I see it now, and I tell people all the time, and I briefly have mentioned it even in here, that you have to pick people who are equipped for your crisis and not just equipped for your dreams. Yes. Because when everything's going well, it's all looking good. Yep. Everybody collecting their check. Yep. The second something happens that's the moment you're going to see who is riding with you and who is not. And that is the biggest reality check ever. I'm just so proud of you for handling it the way you did. Like I said, not that I was hoping all y'all ended up unemployed so quick. Yes. Did you at least give them 2 weeks notice?
Well, I gave them some people some notice. Some people I didn't. I just was like, you got to go. And I also... maybe at a different stage, I probably would have handled it a little bit differently, but I was angry. Like, I was angry at the world, right? Like, so much emotionally, I was angry. And I was like, man, I've been busting my butt all year long to make sure y'all were good, to make sure your payroll was good. Sometimes I wouldn't pay myself.
They don't even know.
Man, and you sitting up here got an attitude because ain't no chips in the, girl, you can go.
I have been there. I have been there. I'm like, wait a minute. Because in all my years of running payroll, I've always made it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, it's okay for me to come and make sure that you take care of it. You don't want to make sure I'm taking care of it. Like, I need a reciprocal relationship.
Yes, come on.
I need some reciprocity up in here.
Yes, come on.
Oh, my gosh.
It was a hard journey.
Do you share that lesson a lot? I think you need to share that lesson.
Yes, I do. I talk about it. When I talk about my story, I talk about the $1 million and how we have, over the course of, I would say, the last 4 or 5 years, we've hired and fired probably about 120 employees because I had to learn how to be a CEO. Like, I had to learn how to pour back into people. And because I'm a tourist and I've always been like, I could do it by myself. I don't need you. If you ain't catch on like this, you can go. Don't worry about it. And so I had to learn those skills. I'm an only child. So
not even that. You're also a young CEO. Mm-hmm. I can still remember when I had walked on to, this was my PR marketing company, on Lil Wayne's tour bus. Mm-hmm. And he looked at me and he said, "You young." And I didn't want to tell him. He said, "How old are you?" I didn't want to tell him my age. Mm-hmm. And I think I was 25 at the time. And I was just like, oh, gosh. I said, let me just tell him. I said, I'm 25. And he said, it's cool. He said, I'm 23. I'm about to be 24 next month. He said, we young CEOs. Like, it's cool. But when you are a boss that young, like I said, it's so many times where you have to do the character development. Yes. And because you are young. You are. And there's life experiences that are teaching you things. And I had to learn that too, how to lead as a CEO, how to manage a staff, how to handle that. And I know where my capacity is. Mm-hmm. I hire managers who manage the people. Yes. Because I know where my capacity level is. Yes. I'm like, if it's going to be 100 people, no, I'm managing 5 and y'all 5 going to all have people underneath you. Yes. Like, that's just where I'm at.
You're right.
But you definitely, I got y'all, everybody telling us to wrap it up. This is good stuff, though. This is good stuff. But you definitely, you learn that as you go. And I'm just glad that you're coming into this awareness quickly. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so inspired.
Well, thank you.
I am so inspired. I'm always into people's journeys and their achievements. And I wish you just so much success. Like I said, you at 40, I'm like, girl, where we going to be?
Well, we going to see. I said I'm going to be 30 this year. Mm-hmm. So we will see.
Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been such a treat. If you have enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.
Bye, y'all.
This was impromptu.
Yes.
Y'all don't even know. This wasn't even playing. She was sitting to the side, but her face was beat. And I was like, we about to do a show.
Let's do it. No, this was good.
No, this was awesome. Thank you so much. This was good for my soul.
Really?
Yes, thank you.
This is fun. I love telling my story. I think people need to know that it's not always good on the journey. It is a little ghetto. It be a little wild sometimes.
I told you, I'm trying to be in the bougie streets.
I'm tired of being in these hood streets.
Like, I'm older than you, honey. That day is over. That day is real over.
No, I feel it. We were. I was just talking to Mia yesterday. I was like, I wonder how
that
people,
Mia.
Yes, Mia. Because it's been 10 years, and I'll be like, I'm tired, and I know this is just the beginning. But I'm like,
you can't be tired. You're 29.
I need a break. I need a little
You may, because you've been going hard.
6 months sabbatical or something, but
I don't know that long, because you come up with 1,000 ideas, be gone for 6 months.
Right.